Hi, welcome to my channel where I share tips and ideas to help you live your fullest from the empty nest and beyond.
Keep your eyes on the prize. Girlfriend, you gotta get it right.
Let's just get started. By the end of this video, I want to continuing to follow up on yesterday's video on your personal prison. And I want to follow up on identifying what your personal prison is. And we can share some ideas and tips to help you break free from the things that have bound you, that have trapped you and got you in a position where you're not happy and you can't move. So we talked before, and I'm going to touch on these things that I talked about in the last video, because the last video I mentioned a lot of the things that can be a personal prison to us, but I didn't give a lot of helpful hints on how to overcome them. Now, I want you to understand that it's great when we can get help, and many times in my life I've had people that have come through and encouraged me and enlightened me and helped me, but we all fight these personal battles, and a lot of times you feel alone. So these are just helpful tips. If at any point you feel desperate and you feel even worse, suicidal, or you feel like that you just really need something that's not just casual advice, then by all means seek a trained professional or a physician or someone that can assist you further than what I could ever do, because I am not a trained professional. I'm just simply trained in the school of hard knocks. I've learned it all the hard way. But anyway, so let's just touch on some of these things. So we talked about being trapped by your work, whether you like it or not, and we all have responsibilities. We all have work to do. And sometimes we're in a job. Jobs don't necessarily put us in our happy place. You may be a wife and a mother and a house, keeping house, and it might not be your thing. You might not be particularly thrilled with having to wash dishes and do laundry. Although I have done it for many, many years, it is a very honorable profession to take care of your family, and don't you ever let anybody tell you different. So if you're a stay-home mom, good for you. So anyhow, let's move on. Here are some tips and tricks. Tips and tricks. Trick or treat. It's Halloween and I'm feeling happy. So anyway, here's some tips and tricks that might help you out if you feel like you're trapped in a personal prison of work. So first off, you need to make time to get away. And even if you're in a position where, I can remember there was times that my getaway was just going to the bathroom. I would just, kids playing, running, screaming, work to do, laundry, whatever, and business, bills, housewives a lot of times have to do a lot of business too. So anyway, sometimes it was just going into the bathroom just because it was the only place, or a closet, or anywhere where you can just have a few minutes alone, a few minutes to just look at a book or listen to a song or sing a song or scream, whatever you need to do to kind of release the tension a little bit. And but if you're actually on a job, that might be a little bit more difficult, but I think even most jobs give you 15-minute breaks. So you don't necessarily have to go in the break room or be hanging out with coworkers or whatever. Maybe you just need that little time by yourself. Go sit in the car, run down the road and get you a coffee, or just have a quiet moment, listen to a song. I feel a song coming on. You have to interject happiness, especially in a zone or an area where you don't feel particularly comfortable or particularly enthused about being there. So, so the first tip is try to get away from it. You may be lucky enough, you know, if you have, you can go on vacations or, have a weekend retreat, but you need to get away from the job. You can't do the job 24/7, 30 days, 31 days a month, 12 months out of the year. You have to get away and interject some good stuff in there. Number 2, you may want to start a new career on the side. You might not be able to put a lot of time in on it, but if your job has become like eating dry crackers, maybe it's time to learn something new or find something that's just a little bit more invigorating and makes you just a little bit more excited about getting up during the day. So, and I've already talked about interjecting some fun and getting away, but sometimes when you're right on the job, especially if you're in a job where you have coworkers that are close by, don't be a loner. Try to make some acquaintances, some positive acquaintances in the office or in the shop or in whatever area you're in. And take part in that kidding and that fun, light-hearted little thing. Go to the office party, share a little bit of yourself, and just see. You may have some really positive attitudes that come back to you. But if you isolate yourself at your desk or your cubicle or your stall, whatever area you tend to work in, your desk, at the cash register, whatever, if you isolate yourself, then you're just going to become more unhappy and more depressed. So you need to interject some fun in the job. And remember that you have to balance everything. Everything has to be balanced. Even good things can become really unbalanced. You have this teeter-totter effect. And if you are a loving wife, a loving mother, if you are a realtor and that balance becomes, way off and you just see that every other area of your life is being neglected, then you need to step back and reevaluate and get that thing back on track. All right, so especially when you are a hard worker, you need distractions. And that's good distractions, but good distractions are different for everybody. So like what may distract me in a good way might be a happy movie, it might be a happy song, it might be singing a song. There are many, many things. A good book, taking a walk. You need distractions. Things that make you feel happy. So as I talked before, your personality will dictate what makes you happy. You need to search that out and always be aware. And it's like if you see a color and it's like, ooh, or you see, the sun comes out and you see little children running up and down the road or something, and it just makes you feel all joyful and bubbly. Maybe a little dog or a kitten. Maybe you're a person that just could really benefit from watching the cuddly kitten videos that are on, something that'll make you laugh or something that'll make you joyful. So you need some distraction. Okay, and I also mentioned illness yesterday. And just talking about illness makes me sad. It makes me sad whenever anybody has pain or affliction or they're just uncomfortable or, and it doesn't matter if it's mental, emotional, physical, if it's a handicapped, if it's a disability, if it's an injury, or if it's just sickness. It doesn't matter if it's just non-life threatening or terminal, which I touched on all of those things yesterday. There are a couple of things that you can do, and I'm not looking at the right spot on this stupid camera, so I've probably been looking over your head the whole time, but I'm not going to do this video over. I'm going to just say I'm looking in your eye right now. So I'm going to continue. I'm going to do a better job. I'm just learning this. Lord have mercy on me. Okay, I might mention here that as you get to know me, my accent has a tendency to waver. I've lived in a lot of different places, and sometimes I sound more northern, sometimes I sound more southern, sometimes I just go way off into some kind of unknown accent or British accent or whatever. So don't pay any attention to that. Just stick with me and we'll do some good here. All right, so illness. We're going to get back to illness. One of the most important things, and I think this even can be backed up scientifically, is to keep a good attitude. Happy people that were happy maybe even in the beginning and have a good attitude and look to get better, they do better than people that have negative attitudes. So it's really, really important to have a good attitude. But I'm gonna just name some things here, and yes, this is your battle, and hopefully we pray that you have friends, family, doctors, people that will support you, care for you, have sympathy for you. But if you've ever been sick, I don't care if you just have the flu. It doesn't matter how much people feel sorry for you and bring you chicken soup and tea. It's still you that's miserable. This is your battle. But you can have comrades and you can have people that love you and make it better. So we're just gonna name off about 6 of these things that will assist you in your attitude if you're ill, even if it's just something minor or if it's something incredibly serious. So number 1, never give up, never surrender. You must have the intentions of getting better. You must say to yourself, I am getting better, and look to that. Imagine yourself looking better, feeling better, overcoming, back doing the things that you used to do. And if for some reason you can, like say you've had an injury and you're going to be disabled in some way, maybe you can't go exactly back to where you were, but you can go back most of the time to the same sense of fulfillment and desire and passion to whatever it was that you did. You may change it slightly, but you have to keep this attitude about you. I'm never giving up and I'm never surrendering to this illness. I am never surrendering to this. I may be sick now, but I am getting better. I'm coming out of this bed. I am doing whatever it is I have to do. I'm a little bit passionate about this, so I don't want to be scary. You know, it's Halloween time and I can get a little bit scary. No, seriously. Number 2, don't give up on creating an alternative life. Okay, so this may sound really strange to some people, but I am a gamer. I enjoy playing MMOs, online games. And so I have known and still know many people that have certain chronic sicknesses and illnesses and maybe even emotional or psychological. They might have psychological issues. But there are people that they're shut in their apartment or their home and they can't get out like other people do. They say, oh, everybody needs friends. Get out and find friends. Well, that might be a little difficult for you if you can't even go to the grocery store without assistance. And you may not be this bad, but there is a such thing as having an alternative life. And it may not be like everybody else's, but I'm just going to set some examples before you. And you might say, oh, I can't play games, I don't know how to work the computer. Well, that's another whole video. You need to step out of the box and learn things. True, maybe you can't afford a computer, but we're just going to step out here and we're just going to talk, because many of these people would benefit from this. One of, I would say probably the best friend that I have ever had, I met on an online game. And we have our little avatars, or our little characters that we play, and we have our little names. And there were times that we would just go to a place in the game and sit down, and we just sit there and text or chat back and forth in the chat log for hours, until she knew my heart and I knew her heart. And so she just became a very, very dear friend to me. And it can also be a family activity. So like if you have a daughter that lives 3 states away, you may be able to spend real personal time. It may not seem like it's personal to you, but it can be very, very personal. You can have activities. You can buy houses and decorate them together. There's just you can fight wars together, go fight the trolls. But it is the acquaintances that you can have. Maybe it would be even better for you to just join a forum of a bunch of housewives or a bunch of other people that fit your particular criteria. Maybe you share an illness together, so you just understand each other. But there are different groups all over the internet that you can create a type of alternative life to have friends and support. So I just wanted to touch on that. You need to, getting back to illnesses, you need to study and know your illness. If you have arthritis, or if you have migraines, whatever it is, you need to study your illness so that you know what is good for it, what is bad for it, what foods that you can eat that cause more pain. Do you have food allergies? So you need to study, and all of the stuff is available online, on the internet. If you can read, you can learn. And you don't have to just have hearsay from a doctor. And I'm not saying you shouldn't go to doctors. You should go to doctors, especially if you have a serious illness. I would never say that on this show. But you also need to know your illness, so that if you need a second opinion, or if you have something new come up, that you might be able to, before you go to the doctor or something, you might search that out and see, okay, so what has happened here? You need to understand to the best of your ability what's going on in your own body. Okay, so I personally, and I'm not going to say you should go wild and crazy with this myself, if I get sick enough, I go to the doctor and I try to make a good judgment call there. I've always taken my children to the doctor when they were sick and I felt like they needed a physician. But I want to say that you should be open to trying safe and practical remedies. There are simple things that you can do at home sometime, and I'm not talking about if you have some terminal disease, if you have leukemia, or if you have cancer, or if you have some kind of, if you've broken your leg, please go to the doctor. But I'm talking about things like trying different diets, trying different exercises, trying a little chamomile tea. There are certain safe and practical home remedies that you might find. Say that you have insomnia. It might be really simple for you to come up with something that's going to help you get a good night's sleep. So don't be opposed to that. You can help yourself a lot if you just try. Okay, so another thing I want you to say is you need to believe. You need to have, I'm going to use the word faith. So everybody has, and I am not promoting any kind of faith or any kind of belief here, but what I'm saying is I personally have faith. I have a belief system, and I believe that there is power in existence, power in belief in God. And I believe that whatever your belief system is, that it should at least provide you with faith, that you can get help, that there is a light shining down on you from above. You need to believe in something. So whether or not you believe like I believe, that's completely, that's another story. I'll let somebody else take care of that. But you need to have faith. You need to believe that you're here for a purpose, and that someone, somewhere, something, somewhere loves you and wants you to get better. That's all I'm going to say about that. Like Forrest Gump, that's all I'm going to say about that. Alright, so, and I want to, the last one is dare to challenge. Don't take it without a fight. Don't take it sitting down. Don't just be a punching bag to illness. And don't say, okay, I'm just going to lay down here. I'm going to take my glasses off so I don't get a glare. I'm just going to lay down and die here. Oh, I'm so sick. I'm never going to get up again. Oh, goodness. No, don't do that. Please don't do that. Stand up. Look it in the eye. Study it. Find out what you can do. Find out the latest procedures to get better, and go for it. Dare to challenge your sickness. Don't accept it as just a blanket truth that you're just never going to get better. Okay, so moving on from illness, we're going to go on to the negativity thing. And I'm trying to speed this up so I don't have such a very long video. Alright, negativity can be in relationships and acquaintances, and it can be in other areas too. But I'm going to give you some helpful tips, tricks, ideas on how you can first deal with negative relationships and acquaintances. Alright, so negative people. One thing that you can do, it's really, really simple, is just avoid them. Yes, I said avoid. If there's somebody that just causes you pain, anger, frustration, they may cause you to just hate yourself. It's like, oh my goodness, this person just flaunts their new car and I have this old car and I just don't want, whatever your reason is. Or they stand there and they gossip about all the bad stuff that's going on, and you just really don't want to hear every bad thing that ever happened in every state and in the news across the broadcast, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, whatever your reason is, if this person causes negativity in your life and you can avoid them, do avoid them. There is no sin in that. Okay, so if you can't completely avoid them, you can limit your exposure. Say you're going to a work party or a meeting, or you're going to a family reunion, and you've got that one relative that is like, oh my gosh, here she comes. So you can't avoid them. You have to protect your space. And if you know your space is going to be invaded by gremlins or goblins, are you just going to say, come on in, come on down? No. You can limit your exposure, and I don't care if it's Aunt so-and-so, somebody's mother, it doesn't matter. You can avoid them. So another tactic that you can use is you're stuck in this position where you have to listen to them and you have to be there and you can look them in the eye, but rather than pick up on all their negativity, you just stand there calmly and look them in the eye, and in your mind you're like, blah 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 blah. Listen to the birds sing. listen to the rain outside, whatever. You know, you can block it a lot. You know, you can just like block it. So if you are forced to be there and hear the negativity, then just block it and fake it till you make it, you might say. Okay, so and then another thing with negative people, just be above it. Just be above it. Just listen to all their railing and their gossip and their, if you're forced to do so and you can't avoid them, you know, you can't block it. Just, it's like, this is not me. Stand there and talk to yourself. This is not me. I don't want this. I just reject all this cloud of gloom that is filling the room. So yeah, so I will touch on one thing. That negative family is the most difficult. So it can be the worst. And sometimes with negative family, you should, if you can, get away. Especially if there's violence, if there is anger issues, if there is a situation where you or your children are in danger, yes, you should try to get away. At least to a safe zone. But this is, I'm talking mostly here, you need support. You need people that can give you wisdom and understanding and help you and assist you in that. And so that's all I'm going to say about that. But don't stay in a position where you're in danger. But when you have troubled or a negative family, sometimes the pain, the frustration, the torment is a fixture in your life. For some reason or other, you know, it's not dangerous or whatever, but you're just kind of stuck in this position where you really can't get, it's like a light fixture. You just can't get rid of it. So if you're in a position where someone like that, you know, they're in your life, you can't avoid it, it's there, and it may cause your life to be dim and dark, and it may be a constant torment. I have known, and actually a few times in my life I have been in this position where it's like, is the sun shining? And I'm not meaning to be comical here, which I have a hard time not being comical sometimes, but I actually know what it's like to be in a position where you feel like the sun is never going to shine again because someone in your life is such a grim reaper or a vampire or a werewolf that they will literally suck the life out of you. I like Vampire Diaries. I watched the whole series not too long ago and I really like it. It just so reminded me of how I feel a few times when I'm around people that just don't want you to be happy. They just can't stand the thoughts of you being happy. So, you know, the desiccation thing, they all turn gray. So typical of some people you can be around. So, but here's a few things you can do. Dare to dream. If you're stuck in a place that's sad, dream. Dreams are incredible things. Write them down. Get on Pinterest and save pictures of that dream home or that dream car or that dream husband, whatever it is. Dare to dream. Imagine the most wonderful and glorious things that could ever be imagined in your future. And whether or not you believe in positive affirmation, I personally believe that if you are looking and dreaming for good things to happen, good things are going to come your way because you're going to gravitate toward them. Whether they come your way or you're going their way, dream. Dare to dream. And find positive support and help. You need friends, you need family, you need people that are going to be kind and loving and supporting. So gather your troop around you that are going to feed good things into you. Another source of negativity can be atmosphere and attitudes. And I know we've been talking about negative attitudes from other people, but sometimes you can actually entertain negative attitudes yourself. And you may be doing that because the atmosphere at work or at home, or an atmosphere you create yourself, promote these negative attitudes. And all I'm really going to say about this is, you know, some people are comforted by, everybody's comforted by different things. There are people that just really love rainy, cloudy days, and they can curl up in front of the fire with a good book and a cup of tea, and that is just their happy place. Other people need sunshine and the beach. So you need to find out what flips your happy switch. And that atmosphere will probably be good for you. But oftentimes we have an atmosphere even that we have created. For some reason or other, we imagine that this is going to be good for us. So we create this atmosphere, and then we realize that this atmosphere is giving us detrimental attitudes. So you really do need to analyze your atmosphere in your home, in your car, in your group of friends, whatever, your favorite restaurant. And I have went into restaurants before, and I think I mentioned this in the last video. You know, you just go in and it's like, it's so dark in here, if it was clean or dirty, I don't think I could tell. But, or the music doesn't suit you. And then I'm going to step on to another thing. Entertainment can be a rescue from negative attitudes, or not. So if you learn what flips your happy switch and what gives you positive attitudes, then you can pick your entertainment, whether it be movies, songs, books, anything that's used for entertainment. You can pick things that are going to give you a better attitude and outlook on life. Okay, so one last...
Got what it takes. They always say don't make waves. Don't you listen?